Welcome back. This is chapter 4, The Enemy, written by Per S. Back. And now I'm going to explain page number 43 to you. So here we go. What was that? Hannah cried. The baby woke at her voice and began to wail. I must go and see. But he held her and would not let her move. Sit thou, she cried. What is the matter with you? Don't go, he muttered. Don't go. So here, these lines say that the sound of the crash somewhere in the periphery of the house alerted both of them. Being alarmed, she spoke aloud, which awoke the baby and it started to cry. She wished to go and check it out herself, but Sadao insisted. He made repeated appeals to her, which was very unusual of Sadao in such a situation. Next para. His terror infected her, and she stood breathless, waiting. There was only silence. Together they crept back into the bed, the baby between them. So here these lines say that this creepy behavior of Sadao terrorized her, and both of them went back to bed silently. Next para. Yet when he opened the door of the guest room in the morning, there was a young man. He was very gay and had already washed and was now on his feet. He had asked for a razor yesterday and had shaved himself, and today there was a faint color in his cheeks. I am well, he said joyously. So here this line suggests that once again Sadao went to the guest room in the morning prior to all other, that is prior to everyone else like other days, and to his dismay he was still there. He looked very happy and had already gotten up and shaved beard. His cheeks were now getting back its normal color. The American joyously announced of his well-being then. Next para. Sadao drew his kimono round his weary body. He could not, he decided suddenly, go through another night. It was not that he cared for this young man's life. No, simply it was not worth the strain. So here these lines say that feeling uneasy, Sadao drew his kimono around his tired body. Suddenly he decided then that he could not bear the anxiety of yet another night. Simply, the case was not that he cared for the life of the American, but that the tension of it was not worth going through. Next para. You are well, Sadao agreed. He lowered his voice. You are so well that I think if I put my boat on the shore tonight, with food and extra clothing in it, you might be able to row to that little island not far from the coast. So these lines say that Sadao conquered to, agreed to, what the young American had just said. Then, lowering his voice, thou announced that he thought he was so well that if he had put his boat on the shore with food and clothing that night, he might be able to row to that little island off the coast. Next. It is so near the coast that it has not been worth fortifying. Nobody lives on it because in storm it is submerged. But this is not the season of storm. You could live there until you saw a Korean fishing boat pass by. They pass quite near the island because the water is many fathoms deep there. This island was so near the coast that it had never been put under surveillance, and none lived there because it went under water during storms. But luckily, it was not the season of storms. He suggested that the young man could live there until he found a Korean fishing boat passing by it. These boats come near the island because water near the island was quite deep. Next para. The young man stared at him, slowly comprehending. "Do I have to?" he asked. "I think so," Sadao said gently. "You understand, it is not hidden that you are here." So here this line say that the young man stared at him, trying to read his mind, and then asked if it was all that required. Sadao asserted, saying he believed so because his presence was not hidden from others. It was not a secret to others. So this is all for now. Thank you.